Hello ladies and gentlemen, thewierdguy here, and today we're going to talk about our boy Justice League Batman. He's in the arena season and he will be in the Snyder's Cut that's coming up in a few days, or tomorrow, I don't know exactly, but yeah. The sad part about it, and I've said it in Just 2 Mobile News, is that he kinda sucks. Like, he's borderline useful in arena Justice League teams, but he doesn't really fit the Justice League team, and in most scenarios, putting him would actually mean not using a slot for a more useful character. But that's fine, because we're going to talk about here how to rework him, how to refactor him, however I call it, pretty much how to change him and make him a better character. Keep in mind that for this we'll be keeping all the animations for the special attacks just how they are, and we're going to try and keep the theme of the character, but at the same time add a little bit on top of it in order to make it viable. At the same time, we're going to try to keep him in reasonable limits, like we're not gonna add something like has a 10% chance to one-shot the enemy boss that you're fighting. We're going to try and keep him balanced, but at the same time get him close to the top 6 teams where he could actually fill a meta-wise role. But yeah, with that out of the way, let me know if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you do, let me know what other characters you want me to cover in this series in the future, and let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, we're going to come over here with the solution, but first of all we need to identify a problem, because why would I want to change something about it if he's not broken? But he is, and not in a good way. So, the problems that I managed to identify with him are going to be the following. The passive is only useful in Arena and CA, because, I mean, a shield that activates once on a character is gonna be useful in Arena and CA because fights finish fast, but in Radiant Story it's kinda useless and you want to not get hit by that kind of stuff anyway. And the second part of the passive, that after using a special one, he has armor pierce for 4 seconds, or a higher duration at the higher star rating. It's not good. It's not how the game works, that's not proper. And the special attacks, except for some random dot thrown in onto the special 2 that doesn't actually do much, his abilities suck, don't have anything in particular that's interesting about them. So we're going to try and fix those things. Okay, so we're going to give our boy 3 passives, as most of the newer characters do, and as most of the rework characters do. First of all, we're going to give a passive that is going to give the Justice League team the capacity to ignore 50% of the enemy's armor when they use special abilities. And at the same time, if the combo is higher than 40, they are going to have full armor pierce on all their special abilities. So we got Aquaman in the Justice League team that's going to give the Justice League team some armor pierce on their basic attacks. And we'll have Batman as the counterpart that instead of armor pierce on basic attacks is going to give them armor pierce on special attacks. But we're going to not just throw that in there as, look, armor pierce on special attacks, because that's not interesting. We're going to give you some of the benefit of the armor pierce. Like 50% of armor is going to be ignored if you don't reach a 40 hit combo, but at the same time encourage you to reach a 40 hit combo in order to take the full benefit of the armor pierce, that way making it an interactive mechanic. And at the same time, it's going to be not that hard since we're talking about Justice League team, and most likely it's going to be a Justice League Flash in there, and even if not, all of them are going to have fast attack chances. And he will do something in relation to fast attack chances, as we'll get later into the abilities. Second passive is going to be the following. We have a shield already that he gives, but it's going to only trigger once in a fight, and that's useful in Arena and Champions Arena, as I said previously, because fights are going to end fast. But again, in Radiant Story is not so useful. So let's see how we can reuse that. So, the new shield passive is going to look like the following. Justice League characters have a shield that ignores damage from opponent specials. Upon that happening, they are going to restore 25% health and 25% energy. After activating, the shield will go on a cooldown. To kind of reactivate the shield, you need to deal to the enemy with a character that has the shield on cooldown double the damage that you would have received if the shield did not trigger for you. So yeah, this way we're going to make the shield give you also a little bit of health and energy, making it even more rewarding, and make it be activable more times. But the more you screw up and the higher damage the ability of the enemy would have done to you, the more damage you need to inflict back in order to be able to trigger that again. And you will in theory take a lot of damage without the shield, because Justice League characters are not particularly tanky. So this in a way is going to make them more tanky and more sturdy in those scenarios, but at the same time is going to make it that you have to deal that much more damage, because you would receive a lot of damage anyway. And the last passive is going to be the following. Each time a Just League character enters the fight for the first time via tagging, I mean, each time you tag each Just League character for the first time in one fight, only works the first time you tag them in the fight, you're going to trigger the Batwing coming down and bombarding the field. Exactly, it can look exactly like the Predator Batman passive, okay? We can just grab that animation. So we're going to get a Predator Batman passive that's going to deal 20% damage to the enemies out of their current health. Not max health, current health. That damage is not gonna be a fixed amount and can be reduced by armor, so it's not like bypassing or ignoring armor. And it does work on raid bosses, but for raids it's going to be reduced at 10%. So this will make him a very viable character to be put in Just League teams in raids and soul raids, because now they got the king passive of themselves. They got a total of 30%, not 30% because it will get reduced eventually after the first one. The first is gonna be a 10, the second is gonna be like an 8, and the third is gonna be like a 6 out of the total health. But still, that will be a pretty damn decent amount of damage they get out of that alone, and the rest of it will be dealt by them. So I really think that this passive would be a very nice thing to add, and will add a little bit more variety in terms of percentage damages, because right now the only percentage health damage that I know of is going to be king. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's move on to the special abilities. Okay, look, the special one, let's be real here. Nobody's gonna really give a crap about the special one in most scenarios, so let's make it a little bit entertaining and fun in some arena fights, and we'll focus more in depth on the next specials. So we got the special one, is going to, of course, look the same as it would normally, but on top of that, if the enemy is in the corner of the map, because like you're going to punch him and stuff like that, and I'm thinking that if a wall is behind him, then he will also hit the wall and stuff like that. So if the enemy is in the right corner at the wall, you're going to deal double the damage and stun for 3 seconds. Only if he's at the wall. If he's anywhere else, you will not stun him. And if you're going to use it again before the previous stun expires, you're going to stun him for 6 seconds instead. So you can kind of stun lock him using this, but at the same time it costs 3 bars of power, so you can't do it endlessly. And again, it's not going to be anything broken, since you're not gonna do this in raids and soul raids, and in arena and champions right now. Who cares? It's just a fun tool to have fun with, okay? Next up, we're going to move on to the special 2. Okay, so the special 2 currently is just a weird bomb that does some dot damage, and it doesn't really go anywhere. The dot damage is not great, and don't get me wrong, we will leave the dot damage as being a garbage amount of damage. Just think of it as the special 2 dot damage of Batman Ninja Catwoman. You're not gonna use it for the damage that it does, but you're gonna use it for the passive benefits that you get. So that's what we're going for. So we're going to extend the duration of the dot damage to 20 seconds. Again, we're not really concentrating on the dots, on the actual damage of the dot damage that you're inflicting, but first of all, we're going to make it last 20 seconds. Then, while the enemy is affected by the fiery bomb dot damage, the Just League characters got a +1 fast attack hit against that target. It means that if they trigger a fast attack hit, instead of doing 2 hits, they're going to do 3 hits. And if you have Just League Flash, they're going to do 4 hits. And if you are Just League Flash, and the fiery bomb dot damage is active on the enemy, you're going to do 5 fast attack hits. And on top of that, you will deal more 10% more damage if you're a Just League character against that target. So this way, we'll make it kind of something in terms of gameplay as the Multiverse Armored Supergirl Special 1 when fighting Captain Cold, in the way that you ideally need to keep it active at all times. It will not stack upon each other because that would be broken. But yeah, while this is active, you're going to have 1 more fast attack hit, getting our boy Flash all the way to 5 fast attack hits, making him maybe a better and more viable damage than Just League Superman, or getting Superman at 3 fast attack hits if you're up for that, and dealing a little bit more damage and having to tag Batman in and out to provide you with that. And now we're going to get into a special 3. Okay, so the special 3 is going to have a 100% chance to crit if the enemy is affected by fiery bomb dot damage. So if you have fiery bomb active, you're going to crit. And furthermore, if used on a 40 combo hit, the duration of the fiery bomb is going to be extended by 10 seconds. See what I did there? We made him being a double damage dealer on top of what you're going to deal damage with. So the rationale is going to be the following. You're going to have Just League Batman First of all, use the firebomb and put some dot on the enemy. Then you're going to tag in Flash, let's say, and Flash is going to have those 5 fast attack hits, is going to deal a tremendous amount of damage. And then you would need to tag in again Batman to refresh the duration of the firebomb, but instead of having to use the special 2 again, you're going to use the special 3. Which will benefit from the very high combo, which will of course be higher than 40 hits, will also be armor pierce because you're above 40 hits and that passive triggers, will also crit and will also add on to the duration of the firebomb. That way making him maybe a viable strategy in the future to use him as double damage dealer just like Flash. So yeah, that's for the special 3. And yeah, so that's it on this episode of How to Refactor. Let me know if you enjoy these changes. Let me know if you think it's too broken. Let me know if you would look forward to play with this character, if this existed. And let me know if this should be added into a game. Because look, I'm giving you ideas, lads. It's not that hard to implement them. Or maybe it is, I'm not a game developer. But yeah, anyways, this was everything for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this. Dislike it if you dislike it, maybe hit that bell button. And I'll see you all in the next one. Coming up next video with a huge Black Manta chest opening. And yeah, I'll see you then.